Welcome back to Growth Catalyst Sir. Today, we are going to look at how you can thrive in the office workplace and how you can do this by mastering office etiquette. You would have noticed that some people are able to thrive in any kind of work environment. They are seen as professionals, they are seen as masters of whatever they do. And it seems to go beyond, much beyond whatever their talents and skill sets are. They're obviously good. And if you're not good, you won't be thriving in any workplace. But this one X plus factor that seems to be there with them, which seems to come wherever they are, whatever they do, and that aura seems to be of inspiring. What is that aura? If you sit back and look at what they are doing, they are basically masters of office etiquette. They are punctual and they're so polished in whatever they do in terms of how they work with you, how they work with other people, that people are very happy and comfortable working with them. And that is the aura which ensures that they get everything done in an effortless manner. So let's take a look at why office etiquette is so very important. Office etiquette is all about ensuring that the work friction is not there or comes down to a large extent. And when people see you having that office etiquette, they know that you are polished. They know that working with you is very smooth. And people, over a period of time, understand that working with you is very, very easy, super easy, in fact. That is the importance of office etiquette. It smoothens out the friction that typically people will have, especially in a very tense environment, which is typically what working places are. There are negotiations which happen, there are gives and takes which happen. People expect things to be done within a timeline, may not necessarily happen all the time. And therefore, there is a number to be achieved and things to be done, clients waiting for some delivery. And that is what atmosphere in any office is. And it's a little tense in terms of how people have to work together and work with each other. And when people go with office etiquette, and we'll come to in terms of what I mean by office etiquette, when it happens and when you have that office etiquette versus people don't have that office etiquette, you will get words like, oh, he's a very polished person, but this person is not polished at all. He doesn't even know how to get things done. This person, if he or she has that office etiquette, well skilled in that office etiquette, you will have and you will listen and you will hear words and comments like very polished, very good communicator, extremely good and adept at handling people and all that. All of that starts with good office etiquette. Now let's jump into and see what I mean with office etiquette and what are the do's and don'ts of office etiquette are. I call the do's as a God principle, GOD principle. Let's see what these mean. G for gracious communication. You have to be gracious and you have to communicate and you have to do it with a lot of grace and respect for others. You need to respect others' thoughts. So you need to listen before you even open your mouth to speak. When you listen and listen attentively, people automatically form a very positive impression about you. The very fact that you are listening attentively, the very fact that you are asking questions, the right, correct, relevant questions when they are speaking, and therefore, which indicates that you are actually listening to them. And when you listen to them, when you are listening empathetically to their problems, challenges, whatever they are talking about, forms a great first impression about you. And that impression only gets better as you listen more and more attentively to them. So be gracious in your communication, listen very, very attentively. The second part of the gracious communication is how you communicate back. You need to communicate back with respect, graciously. And when you write, write in a concise manner, respecting their time. When you write all kinds of things without respecting their time, which is actually rude, what you can communicate in one paragraph, if you take 2 pages, not only are you wasting your time, but you're also wasting their time, and people know it. And hence, it also shows that you have not really thought through, which is actually disrespecting others. So think through before you write, think through before you speak, listen attentively. When you do all of this, you are actually communicating with grace. And the G stands for gracious communication. We are now coming to the second letter, which is O. O stands for organized respect. You need to respect people's time as well as their space. Let's start with time. Be punctual. If there's a call, and these days all of us get into all kinds of online calls, be punctual. Be a minute earlier into the call so that people know who has come in, who has not come in. And if you are late by any chance, apologize. Nothing wrong in that. Please apologize, saying that I'm sorry, I'm late, and I will not repeat it. And please don't repeat it. Because if you are late for a meeting where, let's say, 50 people are there and you are late by a minute and people are waiting for you, we have actually lost 50 minutes in the process. Please understand that. And when you are late, people know that. And if you're habitually late, people know that you're a habitual offender. People don't take it kindly. They may not tell you directly. Maybe your position means that they don't really give that kind of feedback to you. But people don't like coming late. People don't like wasting time. So be very, very respectful of their time, which is simply being punctual, whether it is a physical meeting or whether it is an online meeting. For any reason, if you can't be there on time, there will be situations like that. Please inform them. Please send a message, WhatsApp message, normal message, Teams message, whatever that you are using, message by that so that they will know that you are late, you may be running late in another meeting, and you will be available in such and such time. So that's the first part of the O, which is organized respect. Show respect for their time. The second part of organized respect is all about showing respect for their space. So don't intrude into their personal space. If they're sitting in a cabin and you want to go in, don't just go in. Knock, ask whether you can come in. If they are talking to somebody, don't just intrude. Stay, ask whether you can join the conversation. And if they are sitting somewhere and doing something, don't just peep like this and see what they're doing. Not right at all. They're doing something. It may be office, and in office may not be great confidentiality within a team. Maybe, may not be. But even when there is no confidentiality within a team, you need to still show respect for what they are doing. And therefore, ask before you intrude into other space, whatever that space is. So, O is all about respecting, ensuring that you respect their space and time. The third do is D of the God principle. D stands for dynamic positivism. It's very easy to be disillusioned, sad, tired, whatever that you should not be looking and looking like that in the office. But any of these attitudes is not going to get you any brownie points. In fact, they're all going to deduct points from whatever that you could be. So be positive, and that positivism should radiate through. That you are positive should come through in every single interaction that you are having with your team and with any other team. So how do you do that? You ensure that you start the day with positive thoughts at home so that that entire positivity continues even at office. When you go to office, greet people, say, hi, good morning, and say it with a lot of enthusiasm and positivity, because the positivity and enthusiasm actually charges people. Your energy charges other people with energy. So say it positively, say it with a lot of energy so that people know that you are there fully charged. People can see it. People can see whether you are charged and either with energy and full of positivity, or whether you are faking it. So don't fake it. Say it with full of attitude, say it with full of energy, say it with full of your heart. When you interact with people, let that positivity come through. There will be a lot of challenges that you are handling. Maybe people are posing a lot of problems. Maybe people are slightly rude also to you. Maybe they are downloading all their sadness to you. But don't take the sadness. Look at the challenges, look at the problem with a positive attitude so that you can solve them. Look at the problems with a solution focus rather than blame focus. You can easily blame others, you can easily blame the company, you can easily blame the environment, you can easily blame the nation, whatever. But can you give one solution which can move the company, move the team forward by at least one step? That is what people want. And then you can think through that. You are seen as a positive person. So approach problems, approach challenges in a positive manner, be charged so that people can touch and feel that energy which is coming from you, and go ahead and do it in a positive manner. So these are the three different principles: GOD, gracious communication, organized respect, and dynamic positivity. Now, let's move on to the don't. The word that I'm using for the don't is actually don't. DONT. That's what I'm using for what not to do in an office context. So, what do these stand for? The don't in the D stands for do not disclose excessively. Office is to be separate from your personal life. You may have friends in office, and if they are good friends for a period of time, then that's fine to share personal information. But remember, office is what doing office work. You may talk about your family and so on, but excessively disclosing about yourself, excessively talking about yourself, that disclosing too much about yourself is actually frowned upon. So don't disclose excessively. O in the don't stands for overtaking conversations. Please don't overtake conversations. People don't like it. When people talk and or sharing points, sharing viewpoints, sharing their ideas, when you interrupt, and you will be very, very highly motivated and charged to interpret because you also want to share your points. But please wait. Let them finish their conversation. Let them finish their flow of ideas. Then you can jump in. You can always say that you are making a great point. Continue. This is triggering some thoughts in my mind. I'll share those thoughts once you finish. And you can say that so that people have that space to continue and the time to finish their ideas. And if you continuously interrupt their conversation, continuously interrupt their flow of ideas, it will not be a pleasant conversation and people will see you as an interrupter. So don't overtake conversation. The O stands for overtaking conversation. Now, let's come to the N in the don't. N stands for negative body language. When you are not smiling, when you are looking like this or like this, very obvious that something is not right. Maybe you are disapproving the whatever is happening. Maybe you are not liking what is happening. That's what people take home. Even before you speak, remember your body and your face speaks a lot of words. So always listen with a smile, always listen positively, and let your face and your body show it. When you sit like this, it is very clear that you are protecting yourself. You are not participating in a conversation. Compared to if you sit like this and with a smile on your face, very clear that you're happy to be there. You are participating in a conversation. But the moment you fold your arms like this, moment you lean back like this, moment you are frowning like this, very clear that you are not, your mind and your heart is not there in the conversation. And was you are actually frowning or you are actually disapproving what is happening. So be very, very clear of what your body language is. Be very, very clear of what you are sending out as signals from your body language, from your facial expressions, and so on, because they speak 1,000 times more than your words do. The last letter, T, stands for being tardy on tasks and follow. If you're tardy on tasks and follow up, people will lose respect for you. People will just start discounting you. If somebody sends you a mail and you have not even opened for 3 days, 4 days, even while you are there in the office, people are not going to be happy about it. If people have asked for something and you have not even come back with a date, time by which you are able to help them, people are going to lose respect for you. If people send a communication, it could be a mail, it could be a WhatsApp message, it could be anything, and you are not responding to it within a particular time frame. It could be different offices might be using different time frames. A lot of offices use 24 hours reply for any email. A lot of offices use uh, certain protocol for messages or communication to be completed or any activity to be done. And if you're not well within those time limits that different offices set for themselves, then you are going to lose the respect of your fellow team members. Don't. And these are the basic etiquettes that you need to take care of. When you are able to reply back within the time limits, when you are able to say that, hey, I've seen your mail, I need to compose this. I need to check with the vendor, check with the client, check with this check person, check with this team. But I'll come back in a couple of days. Give me the time. I'll come back to you. Then people at least will know that you have seen the mail, you are taking some action. Otherwise, how will I know that you have seen the mail? Otherwise, how will I know that you are taking any action? And hence, it is important to come back to people saying that this is saying that you are taking action and that you will come back within certain time limits. And even when you have sent a mail, even when you have shared an information and you don't get a reply back, feel free to follow up. Don't wait. And don't wait saying that, the person has to come back. The person has not come back in 3 days, 4 days. Remember, people forget. And therefore, it is also important from your side, if for any email, if for any communication, you don't get any reply back, it is important that you follow up on that also. Give the allowance. Assume that the person might have just forgotten. It's a simple case of missing out the mail, missing out to come back to you. Don't assume the worst. Don't assume that that person is an enemy of yours and so on. Don't make any of that assumption. Make a simple assumption that he might have simply forgotten to come back to you. And as fellow team member, just ask them, hey, I've sent a mail a couple of days back. Maybe you've forgotten. Can you come back to me on this? This is what I need to do. So when you use such polite language, respectful language, and give the time and space to people, which is all there in the God principle, then people actually form a much better opinion about you. You create a space in the office for yourself where it is easy for everybody to work with you. And these are the do's and don'ts of office etiquette. Finally, I also want to talk about how do you handle conflicts and office where give and take happens, where you sit and negotiate with other members of the team. And while everybody is working towards the same goal of the organization, everybody has different perspectives of how they can be done. It is rife for conflict. So how do you handle conflicts? It could be, you are having a particular way of thinking of how it can be done versus some other team having another thought process on how it can be done. How do you resolve this? And there could be many, many ways in which conflict can arise in our workplace. How do you handle those conflicts? If you get angry, if you get, if you think that everybody is saying something, they are not agreeing with my way of doing things, and go away, you are losing the plot. Actually, what you need to do is to sit with them and understand, listen with empathy, understand where they are coming from, understand their thought process. That's the most important thing. And look at what your solution is and share with them. The communication matters, listening matters, and moreover, it's important to understand that all of you are working towards the same goal. When you understand that and work towards that, other people, it makes it easier for everybody to come together. When you use words like, we're all working towards the same goal, I understand that you have this way of doing things. I want to listen to you. After that, I want to share my thought process. Maybe we can work out in terms of the best approaches from each of these and go with that. And so when you share things like that, and when you put things like that, people understand that you are not coming with your way is the highway kind of a point of view. You are here to share, you are here to solve problems, you are here to move towards a solution. Then people get it and people are very, very happy to work with you. So when you are on the table, it could be negotiation table, it could be conflict table that you are trying to resolve. Be polite, be respectful, communicate with empathy. And if you're still not able to resolve, then go to your superior. Talk to your superior, bring them to the table. Maybe talk to your HR, bring them to the table. You need to do that and you need to do that escalation very, very fast so that you don't lose time. When you do all of this, when you take care of your do's and don'ts, use the God principle in the do's, use the don't principle in the don'ts, and use conflict resolution in a very positive manner. All of this means that you have mastered the art and the science of office etiquette. When you master that, people look at you as a very polished, suave kind of a campaigner who is able to put across his or her points very, very effectively and do it without causing any friction in the office place. Try all of this and see how beautifully your career graph takes off. See you in our next episode.